You're watching On Demand. Please check the closing time before trying to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Jane Moore, Colleen Nolan, and Linda Robson.
Welcome along to another 60 minutes of entertainment courtesy of the loosest lassies on the telly. And coming up, booze, bust-ups and the sunbed scandal. Yes, Colleen's holiday. No. As some Spanish resorts crack down on unruly behaviour, are Brits unfairly labelled as being badly behaved on holiday? Also coming up...
Fallen in love with you, Peter.
What?
I love you. With all my heart, with everything that I have, with all that I am, I love you.
It's the shocking true life story of two vulnerable elderly people conned by the man who said that he loved them. Really brilliant piece of television. But would you step in if you thought a loved one was being manipulated by their partner? Plus, talking about her return to the spotlight, her unique approach when it comes to dating, and the life lessons she's learned. Singer Tulisa joins us at 1 o'clock. But first, England's Lionesses roared to success yesterday after... I didn't even have to finish this sentence because you all knew it. It was a fantastic, fantastic result. Jubilant scenes, obviously, across the country as the nation celebrated the wins. So following their 3-1 victory, let's just say that again, 3-1. I know, it's marvellous. The team have just got one more match to play. That's the final, of course, against Spain this Sunday. It's nail-biting stuff, isn't it?
So nail-biting, and I'm not watching.
Why?
Because last week I said I think I'm an omen. Because whenever I watch someone that I want to win...
That's one word for you.
Shut your face. Whenever I want someone to win and I watch, they never win.
All right, yeah.
So it's become a thing with me. So even in that match, I mean, we were on telly yesterday, but I was like, every time I saw telly around here, I was like, I can't watch, they'll lose.
I know what you mean, actually. I'm like that when I see Andy Murray play tennis. I can't watch because I really want him to win. But I was watching yesterday because I was on the radio at the same time, so I had one eye on the monitor. And, you know, it was, you know, obviously I'm Scottish, so, you know, the old English-Scottish rivalry thing. But honestly, I'm so delighted for the success because, you know, for young girls, you know, to see these women play and be tough and competitive and so good at what they do. They're just fantastic role models, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yes. Because of the Lionesses and them winning last year, that's why so many young girls are playing football now. So my granddaughter was 11 and she plays sometimes for the under-11s Arsenal. And my granddaughter is 6 years old, Betsy. She's just started playing football as well and they love it. And it's so good for them as well, out in the open air, fresh air, and also keeping fit as well. So.
And so for them now, like as young girls, do they have, oh, should I be playing football? Because not that long ago, there was a kind of thing about, should we girls be playing football?
Well, my grandniece, Nevaeh, she's brilliant at football. She's 9, 10. Oh, I'm going to get into trouble for that. I think she's 10. Anyway, she's now just moved up a level and she's playing with boys. So
all right, OK.
And she's got no problem with it, and she's absolutely brilliant. But for her, this has given her even more incentive, that she knows that it can go somewhere.
But also, a lot of the time, they end up playing with boys because there aren't enough girls playing that sport, so then they end up being in the boys' team, which is what happened with Grace quite a lot at her school, particularly with cricket, because she loved cricket. And but what will happen now, because of the Lionesses, is that sport will become more and more available. Yeah. And it's a bit like, isn't it, when the tennis is on, like Wimbledon, you suddenly see all the local tennis courts in your park are like fully booked because everybody suddenly thinks that they're Andy Murray. Yeah. And it just raises awareness, and I think it will now make the sport much more available, you
Yeah.
know, clubs and everything for young girls.
But on that, I mean, like Ian, my partner, is a tennis coach, and he does say that it's so difficult to keep girls
Yeah.
in the sport after the age of, say, 12 or 13, because there's a kind of reluctance to be competitive, to be seen as sporty,
Yeah.
which is such a shame.
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
But I was very grateful. I mean, I was very sporty at school, but of course that was the days before electricity and social media and everything else. Whereas Grace in particular, my youngest, was very sporty, and I was so thankful for it because it meant all her school years she was just like always on a minibus with the team going somewhere, hair in a ponytail, tracksuit, bit sweaty, not worrying about what she looked like.
Image of you.
Exactly.
So, Prince William's not going to be there. Rishi Sunak's going to be there. Should they be there in Australia at the final?
Do you know what, Kay? I don't think it's a thing, should they be there? I don't care, actually, whether he's there. The only thing I care about is, I think if it was the men's final, he'd be there. And I definitely think he'd be there. Like, people are like, well, it's Australia, it's a bit far. I don't believe he wouldn't be there if it was the men's final.
Yeah.
So that's my only issue, really.
I suppose, well,
Particularly, I
environmentally,
don't
should
care.
they be going to Australia? I don't know. What do you think, audience? Should they be there? Yes. Yeah, well, there you go. I hope they're listening. We did speak to Kensington Palace and they said, no comment. But anyway, very, 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 very best of luck. And good news to the Lionesses, Colleen won't be watching.
Which means we'll win.
Which means, absolutely, she will
More
be
of a
supporting,
chance.
but not watching.
Can I have a pen back,
No,
please?
you threw it. No.
You forfeited it.
Bad behaviour, no.
Yep, absolutely. I'm with you, Cole.
Thank you.
Now, it is the day that teenagers in England, Wales and Northern Ireland have been waiting for A-level results today. Results have fallen with the biggest drop on record. So it kind of got us thinking about making those big career decisions in life and whether as you get older, you kind of stop climbing the career mountain. Jane, you're never going to stop climbing the career mountain, I don't think.
Oh, I've
Are
stopped
you?
it ages ago.
Really?
Oh, do you know what? I mean, what am I now? 61. I would say actually just before my 60th, I just felt this sudden like, oh. And I used to be very ambitious for myself, not to the detriment of other people, but I'd always have goals and it'd be like, right, I'm aiming for this now and then I'm aiming for that. And then suddenly I didn't feel that anymore. And it was like, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, very happy for other people that might get a job that I might once have gone for. And I'm like, love it, but I don't actually want to do that anymore. And it's so liberating to not have that drive.
What was that point that you hit? Were you conscious of it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I just kind of got to the point where I don't feel I have anything else to prove. So for me now, you know, I do work that I love doing, and obviously it's helping to pay my bills, and that's it. And I'm not thinking, where's the next move? How am I going to get my salary up? How am I going to, or I want to do that, and they've got it. And I don't think like that anymore. I couldn't care less.
Did you two ever think like that?
Me and Linda.
Yeah, just because of the child star thing, which is quite unusual, you know?
Well, people will say to me, what would you have done had you have not been born into the nose? I don't know, because that's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it was something... So I'll never know if I had that drive to do what I do. It was just something I did.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where I stopped doing that. When I was married to Shane, I was a stay-at-home mum for 2 years. And I went
You
out...
worked in a
I got a
health
proper
shop.
job, Gail.
Yeah.
I did. I went for my first ever job interview, and then when I used to get my pay slip, they were all over my fridge, little pink pay slip. Never been more proud in my life. £70 a month. That's how hard I worked. No, I've never been one. Do I look like someone that climbs mountains? Let's be honest. So, no, I've never done that. But I have, like you, I have reached a stage in my life where I used to worry about, you know, what if Loose Women finishes tomorrow? Or what if I don't get that? And what am I going to do about this and that and money and blah, blah, blah. And I'd always say I'm a yes girl. So people could say, no, you have to do it, because if you don't do it, that could be bad for your career. And it might be something that I didn't really want to do.
Yeah.
But I would listen and go, oh, OK, because I'd panic. And now, at my age, all of a sudden, I've taken my life into my own hands. And if I don't feel comfortable and I don't want to do it, then I'm going to say no. I'm learning how to say, actually, no, I don't want to do it. And if you're going to take that certain thing away from me, then that's up to you. But I'm not doing
And how
that
does that
anymore.
feel?
It feels really. It's taken me to 58 to feel liberated and grown up. Actually, I actually feel grown up for a change.
You're deluded, but never mind. What about you, Linda?
I don't think I've ever been that ambitious, really, because I just sort of fell into it by accident. So I went to a primary school where there was a drama teacher taking drama classes, and we just went because there was nice-looking boys in the classes, really. And then started off doing Saturday morning pictures, films and whatever. And then before I knew it, that was my career. And I was the first person in my family that had a bank account at 10 years of age. Everyone else had post office accounts in those days. And then here I am, 55 years later. I was 10 when I started and I'm still working and I never want to stop working. Also, if something new and something interesting comes along, I'm more likely to say yes now because I'm 65 and I don't know how many years I've got left. So I'm going to try most things, apart from Strictly Come Dancing and Dancing on Ice.
You really don't want to do that.
No, I
do you?
can't dance. I've got 2 left feet.
Yeah, but that's the best thing about them.
The whole point is you're supposed to learn.
I'd be the joke one that they'd be swinging around in lycra.
Listen, the joke one's often lost a very long time.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't have
Are you
killed myself.
motivated? Were you in the younger days? Were you motivated by money though, Linda? Because
No,
let's
never
face it,
money.
most people work for money. That's why most people work.
But that's the whole
Never
point. Some
money.
people
I've
have
just
to
done
work.
2 low-budget films, and I did them because I want to do the films. So it was hardly any money, but I just really enjoyed doing the films. I could have earned more money being here, but I decided I want to do something different for a change.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
never.
career mountain, which is different to working because you get paid to pay your bills. It's like, are you looking at some big object up there that you're trying to get to?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute, are you
What
all
about
getting
you?
paid to do this?
What about you?
Well, we're paid for performance, which is why. Anyway, still to come. Oh, what a good time to go for a break. Still to come, we are talking Brits abroad, but do they have a bad reputation? But coming up next, Thou shalt not kill. That is the 6th commandment, explored in the new real-life TV drama that has got us hooked. But would you intervene if you suspected an elderly loved one was in danger? Our views next. Welcome back. Good news. Colleen let me off and I'm back for another part. Plenty to come. Oh, yes, there's time yet, isn't there? There's time yet. Plenty more to come on today's show, but first, a reminder of our competition. Now, the audience have been practicing their woo, so I want a good one. Laura Hamilton has all the details. Lovely.
Summer is here and I've got details of a red-hot prize which you're not going to want to miss out on. This week you have another chance to win an enormous £90,000 in totally tax-free cash. That's 90 grand which would be yours to spend however you want. We love making winners here at ITV. In the last 12 months we've made almost 400 winners and given away 570 prizes. And we're ready to make our next big winner. So if you're sitting there and thinking, I'm feeling lucky and I fancy being 90 grand richer, then here's all the details you need to get involved. For another chance to win, text CASH to 83123. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 783123. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY29 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 25th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, the BBC drama The 6th Commandment tells the shocking true story of church warden Ben Field, who was convicted of the murder of his betrothed partner, retired teacher Peter Farker. The series, which is currently on the iPlayer, explores Ben's relationships with his elderly victims, that's Peter and Anne Moore Martin, who both just wanted to be loved.
It's lovely here. So peaceful. Fallen in love with you, Peter. I like it here so much. It's peaceful.
He's a wonderful man.
Well, so you say, but I don't know him.
It's you and this man. His name is Ben.
Ben lived with him and Peter got ill. And then Ben lived with my aunt and she got ill.
What's that?
I think I need to talk to the police.
I know, it was a really powerful piece of drama. I mean, I absolutely devoured it. And the thing is, you had to keep reminding yourself that this had actually happened. I mean, it was relatively faithful to the real story, so it was really quite uncomfortable to watch. And you start to think, you know, what would you do in that situation? Because the young woman that you saw there, it was her aunt. And she could tell that this was not a good relationship and this guy was taking advantage. But anything that she did to intervene, the aunt was pushing back because she was so flattered and he was so charming.
Was he a carer at the hospital where they were?
Yeah, he kind of put himself in all sorts of situations and just got their trust. But the young woman, the niece, was kind of locked out.
You would be, wouldn't you? You would be. If somebody that young, all of a sudden, with your elderly aunt, was saying, I love you, I want to be with you, you would be suspicious. But it's a really, really difficult... at any age, because I'm sure we've all had people, friends, relatives that have met someone where we thought, oh, I'm not sure about them. I mean, it happened to me years ago with a friend of mine, like when I was in my 20s, late 20s, and she'd met a guy...
that long ago?
What time's my train today? No, she'd met someone and fell head over heels, but from the moment we met him, or I was introduced to him, I thought, you know when you just have a red flag, and I was thinking, oh, I'm not sure. But I tried to hint at things because I thought, if I just say to her, I don't like him, he's not good for you, she's going to push me away, not him. That's what happens. And, like, certainly with a relative, you know, you don't want to lose a relative over, you know, a stranger almost. And I think it's a really hard thing to do. But in that situation, oh, God, I wouldn't know what to do. It's like when she goes, I think I might need to phone the police. She's quite hesitant because what if I'm wrong? What if he's just a genuinely...
Well,
nice
that's
guy.
right. I mean, you've got that suspicion, but you don't know you're right.
No.
You don't know you're right.
I was right, by the way, just say no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she did turn out to dump him.
I think it's different if you're dealing with a friend where the relationship is with somebody of a similar age and there's something about them that you don't like, because it's very difficult then to say to your friend or whoever, you know, but with this situation, I would be like a she-warrior because I'd be thinking that is a very, very young person with an older relative. That is not an ordinary situation. They're after something. That would be my...
But what would you do?
Well, in that situation, I would be really stroppy and vocal and just there the whole time and dealing with it.
But they might try to get out.
But they might just push you away and that did start to happen.
Well, they might, but I would make it very, very difficult for the person that was... And I would be keeping an eye on the finances, because they're always homing in on the finances. That's what they're doing. But with somebody the same age, that's a whole different thing, because with a friend... where you just get a feeling about somebody, and all I will do is, because I want my head to hit the pillow at night, having said something, I will just say something to that friend. So not enough to get me ostracised out of their life, but enough to just go...
But what if...
To say, there's a bit of a red flag here,
but
don't
what
you think?
if it was somebody I mean, maybe not genuine as in genuine, but somebody that was just bringing your elderly relative or friend... happiness and peace.
Well,
is it up to you
we
to
do
say...
see examples in the news, don't we, of like often an elderly woman and a much younger man, and they're having a relationship,
and if they're having a
the
good
whole
time,
world thinks there's, there's something up, but they say no, we're happy. I mean, I know what you're saying, Jane, about the age, but I mean, I remember when well, my mum who's passed away, but when she was towards the end of her life. Not that anything like this happened, but I had to be really careful to respect her autonomy and not sort of, because I was younger and she was older, sort of assume that she was getting things wrong. Because apart from anything else, she would bite my head off, and that was quite good. But I had to keep reminding myself that she is an adult and she makes her own decisions, and you have to respect
whether you agree with the
right to do that.
I agree with all of that in terms of, but if a younger love interest comes into the picture and then she says, I'm, giving them access to my bank accounts or change... Yeah, not even that necessarily, just
but in this drama, that is
changing
what happened.
I don't think you would sit back and
and if they were starting to feel sick,
you just wouldn't.
So I didn't see it. Are they a married couple?
No.
not.
These were
They're
two
just in-
single people, an elderly man, former teacher, and an elderly woman. So that was two separate instances. So he forged a relationship.
not
The young man
married?
forged a relationship with the older guy first.
He married him, didn't he?
Well, he married him, and then murdered him, murdered him, and then he moved on to one of his neighbours, who was the elderly woman.
But I don't understand. Were they in a home together, all of them?
No.
was
They
going to
lived
their
in a
houses.
cul-de-sac.
Oh, they lived in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
Just,
and
they
he
just
moved
sort of came in, inveigled his way into the community
did
that
he?
way, yeah.
Oh,
and it is
so
that thing of
scary.
like when you're older and maybe you've lost your life partner way back and you're lonely, it does make you susceptible, I think, to... And if somebody comes in and they make your life easier and nicer, then I get it. But I do understand that relatives who see a much, much younger person... And it's difficult because you don't want to say to your relative, look, you're an 80-year-old woman, why do you think this 30-year-old man is showing an interest in you?
Yeah.
Because then you're basically saying...
You're not
You're not worthy of that person's attention.
That's
but
what
that's
I mean.
not what you're saying. It's there could be an ulterior motive here.
Yeah, there could. And so when I see you out clubbing with a 22-year-old, you want me to...
Well,
Don't
me
you
to step in?
interfere. Don't you
I'm off straight after this.
All right, OK. She's off rollerblading with a new friend. Still to come, find out what happens to the blushing bride in this viral video that's led some people to say, divorce him! And is it time to shorten the length of the school holidays? Our views on that next.
Gearing up for a trip across America.
This is once in a lifetime.
Loose woman Sophie Morgan marks the 20-year milestone that changed her life.
Wow!
We'll catch up with her live from Los Angeles as she updates us on her unforgettable journey. Sophie Morgan, tomorrow at 12:30.
Yeah, she's not a loose woman, she's a warrior woman, is Sophie. Welcome back, keeping you loose this lunchtime with me, Kay Adams. It's Colin Nolan, Linda Robson and Jane Moore. Still to come, sun shots and suspicious behaviour. Do Brits still have a bad reputation abroad? Don't miss our holiday ding-dong at 1:15. But before that, some sad news that's just come in this morning. Chat show legend Sir Michael Parkinson has passed away at the age of 88 after a short illness. I mean, we use the word legend a bit too casually, but my goodness, Jane, it is genuinely a word that you can attach to Sir Michael Parkinson.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I interviewed him many, many years ago, and I was so nervous. And not because he was the loveliest guy, but because he was such an incredible journalist. So for a journalist to interview another journalist is always very intimidating. I mean, but he was absolutely lovely. But he, for me, even though he was very, very famous, big celebrity, everybody would know who he was always a journalist.
Yeah.
And that was the power of his chat show, because he was not the story. He was the facilitator. And if you remember back in those days, you would see huge stars on his show, and it was the only time we got to see these people as they really were. Like now, you kind of see in their houses and on social media, they're always talking to you. But then it would be like, wow, you know, Muhammad Ali.
And that was his favourite interview, apparently, when he was asked, was Muhammad Ali, which was absolutely
And he just let them
legendary.
talk. He was
I think
brilliant.
that's the thing that I always loved, was the fact that it was about the guest. And he was brilliant at asking questions that you wouldn't have thought of, but you would want to know. And they were happy to tell him. You know, and he never tried to upstage them or be funnier or interrupt them. He was just... And I only ever heard wonderful, good things about him.
Was Shane not on Parky?
Shane went on Parky, and he was on the famous one with, was it Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan, when she really closed down.
No, she wasn't right.
No.
And you see, that's where, again, his journalism came in, because I think in his head, he was like, I've given you this opportunity on my show, and if you're going to be monosyllabic...
Yeah, because
he
was
took
always
her on
really
a bit,
calm.
didn't he?
He was always really calm,
Yeah.
but on that show, you could see him getting more. And I think at one point he said to her, why have you come on here if you're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
talk?
Funny enough, he said afterwards that he regretted that he wished he hadn't done that. But you can imagine the frustration. 1971 was his first show.
Oh, was it?
Really
Yeah.
kind of takes you back. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, Linda, it was an absolute appointment to view.
It was amazing. But I never went on his chat show, but I was in a hospital waiting room once, went to the toilet, and when I come out, he was sitting there, went, "Oh, hello, Michael, how are you?" Anyway, we had a little chat, we was comparing why we was waiting in the waiting room and everything. I won't say why, in case it's something embarrassing. But, and just had a little chat with him, and he was lovely. He was really, really lovely. So I can say I was sort of interviewed with it by him. What are you here for? What's wrong with you, love?
Only you, Linda.
Yeah.
Only.
Did you ever meet him?
Well, I kind of met him around, but no, I never had a big chat with him. I mean, I think of Sir Michael Parkinson, I was a fan.
Yeah,
I was just a huge, huge fan, and I agree with everything that you say. He was the consummate interviewer. And, like, when Billy Connolly, I mean, he really sort of nurtured Billy Connolly, of course. In Scotland in particular, people love Sir Billy Connolly. And that first appearance on the Parky show, he was just fantastic.
And the way that Michael Parkinson, just completely lost it. He was laughing
and
so
laughed
much.
and laughed and laughed
Yeah.
so genuinely.
Oh.
Yeah. So, well, our thoughts with his family. He truly was a TV legend. Now, it's good news for parents in Scotland. Most kids finally went back to school this week. Yep, Bonnie back at school yesterday. But for parents across the rest of Britain, the long, not-so-hot summer this year continues as pupils aren't due to return to the classroom until next month. So with well over 2 weeks to go, many parents at their wits' ends when it comes to childcare and taking time off work. There's always this debate that comes around. Is it time to shorten the school holidays? Would you rather they were shorter? Linda, did they drive you mad back in
No,
the
I didn't
day?
want them to go back to school.
Really?
Because in the morning, when you would be getting up and getting them ready for school, making their breakfast and doing everything, we'd just lay in bed and watch films all the time. So we'd lay there, the three of us, the three kids and me in the bed, and we'd have a film in the bedroom and everything. And then gradually we'd get up as the day goes on. But now my granddaughters, I've got my granddaughters, I love it when they're on school holidays. Unfortunately, they're on holiday with the other nanny now, which isn't good news. No, because I went away...
She's really coming to the fore these days, other grannies.
No, because I went away with them last year, so it was Nanny Brenda's turn this year. So Nanny Brenda's out there with them now.
I wonder if they're having a better time with her.
No, I don't think they are. I don't think they
Why are you
are. I
so
FaceTimed them this morning. They said, "We miss you, Nana." I said, "You bought me any presents yet?" No, but they're having a lovely time.
Maybe
But Nanny
think the
Brenda
other
arrived...
Nana's thinking, stop FaceTiming them, it's my turn.
Yeah.
She hadn't arrived yet. She's arriving this evening. So they had 2 days on their own without the nanny, and now the nanny's arrived.
But their
today.
parents are with them, let's just
Their
point
parents
out.
are with them. Yeah. Their parents are with them. But their nanny Linda's not with them. Because nanny Linda was with them last year. But it's my turn next year.
Woo! But the thing is, for most people, you know, in a lot of families, both parents or one parent, whoever, is working and they're trying to juggle childcare. Childcare is expensive. The weather hasn't been good. You know, how do you get activities and look at them? So, I mean, it can be a real struggle for a lot.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they should have holidays.
What?
Swines me up. I tend to move house. Come home from school, I've gone.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No,
shorten the holidays?
I wouldn't shorten the holidays. You
No,
know,
I
there's
love
a
them, I
lot
have to
of,
say.
you know, I know it's hard and it's hard for people that are working and all of that, but you know, they're at school a long time, I think. I think it's really good for them to have a break and just be kids for a while and not be told what to do and what to learn and do your homework and go to bed. And I think it's really good for children to have that moment of just being free.
And
I do sometimes feel, I mean, I suppose it depends, like different places and where you go to different schools and whatever, but I do sometimes feel you could maybe take a week off the summer holidays and put that week somewhere else in the year, because there's that one term, I can't remember, is it like the winter term, that seems to just go on forever, and they're exhausted and the teachers are exhausted, and you feel maybe a little week there instead might be better.
But I mean, relatively speaking, I think our summer holidays are amongst the shortest. I mean, if we look across Europe, well, UK, Denmark and Germany, we're all kind of around the 6-week mark. Ireland and France are 8 weeks.
Oh, and private schools are longer as well, aren't they?
12, I think.
Is it? Greece and Portugal are 12?
Yeah, America's 12, because my kids went to an American
12?
school, and they had 12 weeks off.
Italy is 13 weeks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No,
But
that's
then
insane.
a lot of that's going to be weather related, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so hot in the summer months, so they'll probably do that. Well, we did do a poll on this one, and we asked you whether you thought that the summer holidays should be shorter, and 58% of you said that they should be shorter. Should be shorter, which is not easy. It's a bit of a Sean Connery there, isn't it?
You're definitely not Michael Parkinson.
Definitely not. Definitely
He'd
not.
have never done that.
Thanks, Colleen. Now, Ronan Kemp has revealed that behind closed doors, the royals really are just like us. In a recent interview, he explained that Kate Middleton took her shoes off when she went round to tea with the Kemps.
Wow.
So, house rules. What house rules do you expect your guests to... You don't have any house
haven't
rules.
got
I don't even
one.
point talking to you on that one.
I actually haven't got a house rule.
She never invites anyone round.
I do. I don't invite them, they just turn up.
Well, you've never invited any of us, lot.
Well, you all live down here. You're always
I
invited. Well, you
don't.
can't be bothered coming up north. Coming up north.
No.
No, I've always got loads of people in my house. I think that's why the rules went out the window. I get up in the morning and I don't know who's in my kitchen. They go, would you like a cup of tea? I go, And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know who this is, but they're offering me tea.
Kids these days are very good with the shoes off, though, aren't they?
They are, but that's because I think kids nowadays love taking their shoes off. I mean, my kids hate wearing shoes. But if I go to someone else's house, I'll always say when I walk in, would you like me to take my shoes off?
Do you?
Yeah.
I know,
and
but
I
the state of your feet, I'd say keep them on.
I always hope they'll say that. Please don't take your shoes off.
No,
because I do actually hate taking my shoes off.
I know, you've got a pair of trotters.
Well,
there,
I know. The thing is, I can cover my feet. What about your face?
That was a good one. She's not usually that sharp, but she's on fire today. I tell you, she really is. What about you, Linda?
When people come to my house, I don't ask them to take their shoes off, but I've got friends that have got slippers so that when they walk in the door, people put their slippers on.
But you give them slippers?
They've got a basket full of
that's
slippers.
fancy, Nancy.
I've been to your... No, I've been to your house, and you could eat off your floor.
Yeah, I know.
It is the cleanest house I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, but I've no rules, so you could eat off mine.
Yeah, well, I don't want to eat off yours. You've had goats around the place and everything.
I mean, you might get botulism, but you can still do it.
I think it depends on whose house you go to.
Yeah.
Right.
So a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, me and Leslie were in Mallorca and we got invited to a house.
Oh, here we go. Whose house
I'm name dropping again. But we didn't know, so we was with 3 music producers. They said, do you want to come to Catherine's house for lunch? And we said, who's Catherine? They just said, oh, she's invited us for lunch. We said, have they got a swimming pool? Said, yes. So we go all the way up this man and we get there eventually. And then when we get there, it was Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. So I said to Leslie, should we take our shoes off? So she went, yeah, I think we should, because it was such a posh house. It was absolutely lovely. So we took our shoes off there. But in general, I don't take my shoes off if I go to someone's house, unless they ask me to.
Yeah, and I would, if they've got a cream carpet or something, then I would probably go, all right, I'll take my shoes off. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have any house rules.
No.
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 Well, I don't like people picking their feet on my couch. But anyway...
Have you told Ian?
That was just random, and I do apologise for it. It just came out. Yeah, I know. Let's move on. Still to come. Do Brits deserve their bad reputation abroad? And the wedding day video that's led some people to say, dump him immediately, and others to say, lighten up, it's a bit of fun. But what do you think happens next? Find out in a few minutes. Just a quick note about Talitha, who was supposed to be on the show today. Unfortunately, she sadly had to pull out at the last minute because she is feeling really poorly. So we're sending her all of our love. Feel better and come back and see us soon, Talitha. Now, take a look at these signs that have appeared at a Spanish beach designed to stop tourists visiting their sunny, sandy shores. So there you go. It's like warning of jellyfish. There's other ones, warning of rocks and things like that. But underneath, it actually says it's a lie. So they're kind of spoof signs. So all of these signs are cropping up. Some hotels are limiting all-inclusive drinks. Some resorts, Spanish resorts, are cracking down further on drunken behaviour. The Brits abroad do not have a good reputation. Do you think it is deserved, Colleen?
Do you know what? I'd love to sit here and say, no, I don't think it's deserved. I actually think it is. In some places, in some areas, in some respects, and it's normally when later on in the day or whatever, they've had one too many.
Yeah, it's alcohol, isn't it?
And it's alcohol, and then all... And the feeling that you're on holiday, so you can leave all your worries and all of that behind, and you don't have to live by the rules or whatever. So, and programmes like, what was it, Ibiza Uncovered, and places like that. That actually, you know, I never went to Ibiza because of that, ever.
No.
Because it put me off, because I thought, oh, but actually, it's a beautiful place. So I do think I kind of get it. But equally, I've been to places... Me and Kira went away, and where we stayed were mainly other nationalities. It wasn't very British at all. And they were behaving exactly the same way once they'd had too much to drink.
Yeah. I kind of think it's the minority.
They weren't
really
kicking off, though, because there was nowhere to get an English breakfast.
All right, OK. Or indeed Tetley's tea bags. I've seen a fight over Tetley's tea bags.
I do think, though, in the grand scheme of Europe, we have a weird relationship with alcohol in this country. Not everybody, but a certain... few. You know, when you see them at the airport drinking at 6 in the morning and whatever, and it's just like they're... And on the flight and da-da-da-da. And then you look at sort of France and Italy, whatever, you're brought up... Like, you see kids at the table and they're having, like, a tiny bit of wine with their lunch or something when they're in their teens. Whereas we're very much like, let us at it. And then it just kind of... It just kind of descends, doesn't it?
I think it's the excitement. They've waited all year for their holiday and then they get there. And I think a lot of it's down to the all-inclusives now as well, because they don't have to pay for the drinks, so they're getting as much down them as they can. Trying to get their money.
I suppose you think you paid for it, so why not? I mean, that's not really that out of the way, isn't it?
All-inclusives. I've just started. I'd never seen it. Benidorm. I had never seen it, and I've started watching it. It is so funny.
It really is, I know.
I absolutely love it, and it's so Brits abroad. It reminds me of all my holidays when I was young.
But I mean, this is, you know, in Spain, I think Spain is trying to sort of turn around its reputation that it's got over the years, and Benidorm is one of them. I mean, I've never actually been to Benidorm, but I've got friends who are regulars, and they say it's a beautiful place, you know, and there's an old town, and it's lovely, etc. But we always focus on the kind of really raucous bit, which I don't think is necessarily representative. I know when I think of Brits abroad, I never think of the drunkenness, because, OK, that's a section. I remember going to Turkey once, and there was like 3 or 4 couples had come together, and every afternoon at 4 o'clock they sat down and they brought out a packet of Mr. Kipling's individual fruit pies. And they must have brought 14 boxes of them. 4 o'clock every afternoon, the heat, everything going. Is it time for the fruit pie?
I always bring my own tea bags when I'm...
I bring tea bags.
They make the worst tea in Spain, don't they? Sometimes they give you hot milk as well.
No, but it's the water that makes the tea funny. You can't take your own water.
No, you can't take your own water.
No.
I do take my own. But my very first holiday was Magaluf with my partner at the time, Tony, so we was probably about 17 at the time. First time I'd been abroad and everything. And it was just wild, honestly. It really, really was. Magaluf was the wildest place you could go, sort of, in that
Well, it was Magaluf spelt with an SH, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was called...
What, Magaluf?
I can't work that out.
I'll tell you after. I'll tell you.
Am I allowed to say it?
Ooh! No, you're not. Now, that viral wedding day video in full next, but it is competition time, and it is your chance to win £90,000. Laura Hamilton has all the details.
The summer is here and we're celebrating by giving you the chance to win a whopping amount of money. This week you have another chance to win a huge 90 grand in totally tax-free cash. Just what would you do if you won all that money? Luxury holidays to faraway lands, a new car, or shopping sprees galore? Being 90 grand richer, you'd be able to spoil yourself and your loved ones. There's a guaranteed winner for every prize here at ITV. It happened for Janice from the Wirral.
£40,000, but I still can't believe it. I haven't touched it. It's still in the bank.
I was getting ready for work and it was on the telly and it looked like a nice competition. Biggest surprise ever. I never win anything. It's fabulous. It's brilliant.
Janice was a winner with ITV, and you could be too. It just takes moments to enter, and here's how. For another chance to win, text cash to 83123. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 783123. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY29 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 25th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, what would you do if your new husband played this, quite frankly, shocking prank on you on your wedding day?
Mom!
Oh! Do we have that on a slow-mo? I want to see that on a slow-mo. No? No? Oh, we do, we do. Here we go. In the meringue and everything. You think that's funny?
Well, because...
No.
No, just had all her hair done, her makeup done, got a beautiful dress on.
I know, but she's obviously agreed to jump in because they both run up to jump in. It's just that he doesn't do it.
No, exactly.
But she's agreed to jump in, so she's
How
not
do you know
bothered.
she's agreed?
Because you can see them both running up to jump in.
Yeah, but
the
she
pool.
thinks he's going to jump in with her.
Yes, but what I'm saying is she didn't care about getting her hair wet. She was going to jump in.
Yeah, so long as he looked the same as she did, a right mess.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm with Linda on this one, don't you think, Jane?
Well, first of all, the cynic in me.
Oh,
I'm thinking,
there's no cynic in you, Jane.
No, well, I know it's a shock, but I'd be thinking he was a bit over that way a bit. I'd be going, hang on, we're doing this in the middle, mate. We're not giving you the opportunity to step. And as a message of we're in this together, it's not a good start, is it? No, not a good start.
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably fancy him a bit more because it's funny.
Oh, do you? I think if they had like a history of pranking each other...
That's what I mean. That's what I think. They're that kind of couple.
Yeah, that'd be fine. But, I mean, you either like those kind of pranks
No,
or
I don't
not.
like them.
You don't like pranks?
No, I actually don't.
No, I
love
don't like
pranks.
pranks.
Oh, you don't like pranks?
No.
I love pranks. You don't, Linda?
Oh, I knew you would.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're just a bit evil.
This is terrible.
You like doing pranks, but do you like being pranked?
Oh, Jane.
I actually thought that was you then. Oh my goodness.
So on my honeymoon, there was... Oh, my God. On my honeymoon, there was about 12 of us, 12 women all at my hen party and everything. And then we got on a big coach to go home at the end and someone said, right, come on, let's moony out the bus window. So we all went like that to pretend to moony and Pauline Quirk was the only one that actually moonied.
Here's my reaction to that. Well,
You're going to keep that now, aren't
I
you?
know, I'm keeping that. That is going nowhere. I'm
Take
gonna
it
go
off
through all
her.
the sound. No, you're not having it.
Take it off her.
Does it do any other noises?
I don't know. Well, you don't hear that very often, do you?
I might keep it.
Yeah, you need it. That's it for today. Oh, tomorrow, Emmerdale's Danny Miller. I quite liked it, actually. And his wife, Steph Jones, will be introducing us their new baby girl. And our Sophie will be live from LA for a very, very special reason. Until then, have a lovely afternoon.